there is no corner of the world where plants don't grow naturally. From the frozen Arctic to the dense rainforests, on the top of the highest mountains to the bottom of the deepest oceans. The natural environment in which an organism lives, feeds, and reproduces is called its niche or habitat. Various parts of plants and animals modify in various ways to adapt to their habitat. The modifications or development of certain body parts in plants and animals that help them to survive and flourish in their environment is termed as adaptation. Adaptation helps plants and animals to survive in changing environment. Based on their habitat, plants can be broadly classified into terrestrial and aquatic plants. Plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. Plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants. Let us learn more about them. Terrestrial plants. The word terrestrial means on or in the ground, meaning dry land. Land itself has many different features like the polar regions, mountains, coasts, plains, rainforests, and deserts. The environment is different at all these places. Now, let us learn more about each one of them and their respective plant lives. Polar regions. The two poles of the Earth, the North Pole and the South Pole, are the coldest places on our planet. They have a very long winter and a very short summer season. There is hardly any sunshine during the harsh winter months. But in the short summer months, the North Polar region bursts into life. The top layer of soil thaws. As the soil just below the topsoil is permanently frozen, the plants have a very thin layer of soil to grow. The sun is weak, the air is cold and dry. Yet the snowy landscape gets transformed with bright, colorful flowers. The plants grow close to the ground like a carpet. They do this to protect themselves from the icy winds and to avoid being crushed under unexpected snowstorms. The leaves overlap each other and the flowers grow close to each other, almost as if they are huddling together for warmth. Since the air is dry and there is very little moisture, their leaves are thick and waxy with very few stomata. This enables them to preserve moisture. These plants also hibernate, as in they rest in the soil during the long winters and wait for summertime to bloom again. Plants like cranberry, purple saxifrage, Arctic poppy, and blueberry grow in polar regions. Mountains and hills. Hilly regions can get very cold. In fact, the higher you climb, the colder it gets. Different kinds of plants grow at different levels. All mountains have a tree line. That is, trees don't grow beyond this point. It is far too cold for trees to grow. Smaller plants, mostly flowers, dot this landscape during the spring season. Plants have adapted themselves such that they can survive the severe cold as well as the snowfall.
Trees like pine and subalpine fir of cold regions are cone-shaped so that snow can slide down. Therefore, these trees are called conifers. Coniferous trees are found in mountainous, cold regions of the world. The leaves are thick and needle-like that prevents frosting. They have seeds in hard cone that preserve them through harsh winters.
Non-flowering plants like ferns and mosses also grow here. Trees growing in the lower regions like valleys shed their leaves in the autumn as they stop making food. They do this to preserve their energy. They use the stored up food to survive the harsh winters. These trees have broad leaves. The size and shape of leaves differ in different trees. Plains. Plains are mostly flatlands, and the climatic conditions vary from very hot and dry to very cold. These regions also have distinct monsoon season. Plants growing in these regions adapt themselves to survive in all seasons. Most of the trees like neem, banyan, peepal, palash, and mango grow on plains. These trees have several branches which make them look really vast. They produce flowers and fruits. The seeds are inside the fruit. Some of these trees shed their leaves in autumn. They also light up the plains with their beautiful bright flowers during the hot and dry summer months. Deserts. They are the hottest and driest places in the world. Not all deserts have sand. Some are rocky. Some have stones. There is very little or no rainfall in this region. It gets very hot during the day and very cold at night. Sometimes the difference between day and night temperatures is 40 degrees Celsius. The soil is very dry and lacks minerals and water. As the wind that blows over the desert is hot and dry, the sand keeps shifting, so it is very difficult for plants to take root and grow in sandy deserts. Desert plants have adapted themselves to survive long periods of drought. Sometimes it might be a brief, light spell of rain. Sometimes it can rain very heavily for several hours. Cactus is the most famous desert plant.
In order to adapt to the hot and dry conditions, the stem develops into a green, fleshy part that is thick and swollen as it stores water.
It has a waxy surface to prevent water from escaping. It also converts sunlight into food and does the work of leaves.
The leaves, to prevent loss of water, are reduced to spines. The shallow roots of cactus develop laterally to gather maximum water from the surface. The spines also protect the plant from being eaten by herbivores.
Many cactus produce flowers. These bloom mostly at night and live for a very short time, some for just one night. They live on as seeds in the desert soil and wait for the next round of rain to germinate again. Rainforests. When trees grow together in large groups, they form forests. Rainforests cover only 7% of the earth, yet over half of the world's animal and plant species live there. This is because it rains almost continuously throughout the year and the air is warm and damp. There are no seasons and the climate is more or less the same all year round. This provides a stable environment so plants and animals thrive. Plants don't need to make seasonal changes. They can produce flowers, fruits, and seeds, as well as shed their leaves at any time of the year. The rainforest trees grow straight and tall, sometimes reaching a height of 60 meters. The trees grow close to each other, so there is no place to spread out branches. Most trees branch out at the top. Their trunks are tall and slender, but very strong. They have smooth barks, so the water flows down quickly. Rosewood, mahogany, ebony are all rainforest trees. Rubber trees also grow in rainforest. They have hard wood, which is excellent for making furniture. Since every plant here has to fight for sunlight, some of them start their life on top of other trees. They have short roots, which give them a firm hold on the tree trunks. Plants that grow on tree trunks are called epiphytes or air plants. The topsoil in rainforest is thin as it rains almost continuously there. So the roots of the trees don't grow deep. Also, as the trees are very tall, they need additional support. Many trees grow thick aerial roots coming down from their branches. Yet others grow solid buttresses at the base of the trunk. The trees in a rainforest are mostly broad-leaved evergreen trees. As the trees grow close to each other, the leaves and the branches above lock together to form a canopy. This stops most of the sunlight from reaching the forest floor. The plants that grow on the forest floor have adapted themselves to survive in damp and dark conditions as they get no direct sunlight. Mostly, ferns and mosses grow here. The leaves of rainforest plants are thick and leathery with pointed tips. So, water quickly runs off the leaves and prevents moss from growing on them. Moss would have blocked out the sunlight, thus making it very difficult for them to prepare food. Coasts and marshes. This is a unique habitat as land and sea come together. The air is salty too. The sea rises and falls twice a day, and plants have to adapt themselves to being submerged in salty water during high tide and drying out in the heat of the sun when the water recedes during low tide. Coasts are areas bordering the sea, where the sea meets land. The sea water comes up to a particular height during high tide. The area just above the high tide mark is perfect for coconut plantations.
Coconut trees are grown in tropical countries all over the world. They are mostly grown in coastal areas because they require a warm climate and are intolerant of cold weather. They need high humidity and regular rainfall for optimum growth. They grow in soil with rich saline content, which is found mainly in the coastal areas.
Swamps and marshes are areas on land where the soil remains completely waterlogged. The soil is clayey, it holds the water and does not let it drain. Mangrove trees grow in this sticky, clayey, salty mud that has no air in it. These trees have adapted themselves in various ways to obtain oxygen. Mangrove trees have special vertical roots, the tips of which always remain above the surface of the water. These are called breathing roots. They take in oxygen from the air, not from the soil. Mangrove trees have a network of branching roots to support them in the extra soft, waterlogged mud. Aquatic plants. Plants that grow in water are called aquatic plants.
Aquatic plants survive in two main habitats, saline and freshwater. Saline areas include the shoreline and salt marshes. Freshwater plants survive in rivers and streams, on their banks and in lakes and ponds. Aquatic plants are subjected to a lot of adverse conditions like frequent flooding, strong winds, constant water movement, and unstable soil conditions. The saltwater plants have to also endure high concentrations of salt.
The roots of aquatic plants do not take in water. They are adapted to absorb more nutrients than the terrestrial plants. Types of aquatic plants. There are three different kinds of aquatic plants that grow in both kinds of habitat: fixed plants, floating plants, and underwater plants. Let us learn more about them.
Fixed plants. Lotus and water lily have their roots fixed to the soil at the bottom of the pond. Their stems are long, slender, and filled with air cavities. The stems are flexible. This allows them to bend with the current of water without getting damaged. The leaves of these plants are broad and thin, so they float easily on water. They are also coated with wax, which prevents them from decaying as they are half immersed in water. The stomata are only on the upper surface.
Floating plants. These plants have a very light and spongy body. This gives them the flexibility to stay afloat. Their floating leaves are broad and have stomata on the upper surface, while their submerged leaves are mostly long and narrow, thus offering minimum resistance to current. Their roots provide the balance they need to survive the changing currents. Duckweed, water hyacinth, and water lettuce are few examples of floating plants.
submerged or underwater plants. Hydrilla, Vallisneria, and tape grass remain completely underwater. Their roots are fixed to the soil at the bottom of the pond. They have narrow, thin leaves which allow the water to pass through. The leaves have no stomata. The stems are flexible and filled with air spaces. The plants breathe through the body surface. They use the carbon dioxide released by the aquatic animals to produce food and release oxygen in the process. This helps in the cleaning of water and making it fit for aquatic animals. Insectivorous plants. Though most plants make their own food, some of them have devised other ways of getting food. Even a plant. The leaf of a pitcher plant grows into a long, hollow tube. The tip of the leaf grows like a lid. The hollow tube is filled with a liquid. The lid of the plant is very colorful and emits a sweet smell. The insects get attracted. As they climb inside the leaf to look for nectar, they slip down the tube and drown in the liquid. The plant then feeds on them. Sundew. The sundew has hairy leaves. Insects are caught in the sticky drops on the tips of the hairs. The plant slowly feeds on the softer parts of the insects, and the hard parts get blown away in the wind. Venus flytrap. The leaves of the Venus flytrap are divided into two halves. The edges of the leaves have sharp bristles. When an insect lands on them, the two halves snap together and hold the insect inside. The leaves secrete a juice which digests the insect. Once the insect gets eaten, the two lobes open, ready to catch its next prey.
Fungi. Some plants do not contain chlorophyll, so they cannot prepare their own food. Such plants are saprophytic in nature. They grow on other plants, dead and decaying plants and animals, and on stale food. Such plants are called fungi. Mushrooms are also fungi. Wasn't it interesting to know about different variety of plants?